In this video, I'll be talking to you about something very counterintuitive. So please bear with me because initially you may be thinking, well, but it doesn't make sense. But I can guarantee you that when you watch the entire video, when you really think about the example I'm about to give you in the context of your own life, you will realize that this strategy, I would say this mindset, is very powerful. So I would like to talk to you about vulnerability, making yourself vulnerable in front of other people. Now, we have that misconception that confident people are confident all the time. They have that mask and nothing can phase them out. You're walking through the world and it doesn't matter what happens to you, you never show your emotions. You're always that tough person. But is it really the case? Now think about people around you, right? I'm sure that you have some confident people in your circle who are always confident, who never share their fears, their weaknesses. They always seem to have everything together. Now, do you trust a person like that? If you have a problem or you have a fear, would you feel comfortable talking openly to that person? Probably not. Now, why is that? Well, because you don't feel comfortable in that situation. You don't feel comfortable because you feel like they may not give you their approval. After all, they don't have any problems, right? They are always confident. They are not afraid of anything, and they always feel comfortable. Now think about people who open themselves up. Think about those individuals who are not afraid to share their real feelings, their real emotions. Now, would you open yourself up to that person? Probably yes. Now again, why is that? Well, because they create that safe environment for you. So I really believe that on your path to becoming truly confident, I'm not talking about just acting confident, but really feeling that deep inner confidence. You have to embrace vulnerability. You have to learn how to open yourself up to others, how to share your emotions, your weaknesses, your fears. And again, I know it sounds counterintuitive, but it's very important. Because when you think about some of the most confident people, people who have really high level of self-esteem, these are the individuals who don't really care about rejection. They don't care whether other people will give them their approval or validation. They walk through the life and they are perfectly willing to share who they are, show their true colors because they know that the opinions of other people will not impact their well-being, right? So let me share with you a quick story. A few months ago, I went to Tallinn in Estonia for an A-Fest meetup. So A-Fest is a tribe of people from different walks of life, highly successful people who have one commonality. They're very positive and they are really into self-improvement. So we had that meetup and at one point we were supposed to introduce ourselves in front of the entire group. So when it was my turn, initially I thought about doing the usual thing, saying, hi, my name is Jimmy, I traveled the world, I do this and I do that. But then I figured, I really want to connect with those people. I want to show them my true self. So instead of talking about my current life, I told them a story about how I used to be. So I was standing in front of maybe 30, 40 people, and I started talking about my teen years, when I lacked confidence, when I didn't have social skills, when I really didn't feel good in my own body. And I shared it with them. And was it easy? Of course not. I felt my heart beating like this. I was sweating a little bit. It was very uncomfortable. But when I shared it, I sat down and I felt that relief. So later on that day, some people came up to me and they said, listen, I got really inspired by your story. It taught me that it's important to be open with others. In fact, there was one lady who told me that before she heard my story, she was afraid to stand up and talk about herself. But when she saw that I was so willing to be vulnerable, to open myself up, to talk about things that make me a little bit uncomfortable, she got that courage because she realized that, hey, maybe we have successful people in this room, but it doesn't matter. We are just human beings, and everyone, without exception, has some fears, self-doubts, and weaknesses. So I'm telling you this story because I think that it really illustrates how important is being vulnerable. So when you think about your own life, try to figure out how you can open yourself up more to people. It's a great bonding experience. When you talk to someone and when you are trying to be tough and confident all the time, you may make a good impression, but you will not really bond with that person at a deeper level. But you probably realize in your life that whenever you have a situation that you share a personal story, or the other person shares their weakness or their fear, you feel that bonding experience, you feel that connection, and it's very powerful. So again, it's not an overnight process. It took me many years to build it, and I'm still working on it. Back in the day, I tried to be the tough guy all the time, tried to be confident all the time. I never talked about my emotions. But because of that, many people couldn't connect with me. They were afraid to be themselves in front of me because they were thinking, oh wow, this guy is always confident. How can I possibly talk to him about my self-doubts, about my weaknesses? But now, since I'm embracing vulnerability, my level of connection with other people is totally different. So really think about this concept in the context of your own life. Please post a discussion and let me know what you think.